Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the best division in football, the best television show not on TV, Awthentik and The Beard. Welcome back to another preview show. We got some big games lined up, man. Nice Thursday game here between the Jets and the Colts. I just got word that Corey Davis is going to be out of that game. I'm definitely looking forward to that. Ain't nothing like Thursdays, man. I get about halfway through the day, and then I'm like, oh, there's football tonight. Got a podcast tonight, man. So definitely about to enjoy myself. Giants coming off that big L to the Kansas City Chiefs last week, one-score game. Washington sitting on a bye this week. The Beard's going to have a pretty bored week here, but at least he doesn't have to deal with another loss from his team. And the Dallas Cowboys are actually coming off the bye. And they got a big matchup against the Broncos. Philadelphia Eagles are taking on the Chargers. It's going to be Justin Herbert's first game in Philadelphia here. Let me bring in my co-host one time, man. The strong side to my left side. Y'all know what it is. Let's get them biceps in the chat one time. Left side.
Strong side.
What's going on, Beard?
I kind of wore a shirt for the biceps today.
Okay, I see you flexing. Okay.
Hey, listen. If you guys aren't following Awthentik on Twitter, you guys have to follow Awthentik on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter too, you know.
Hey, unless, you know, if you know, if you're going to be in your feelings, I might not be the right person to follow on Twitter because my man Double E, no, I'm going to keep it funky all day, all night on Twitter. It's been an interesting couple of days on Twitter for damn sure.
The one clip you posted from last episode where you were like, who y'all got next week? And I said, Dub.
Yeah, you even put up the Ice Cube West Coast signs and all. You was hype. You was legitimately hype about being on a bye. I don't think I've ever seen that from you ever.
I mean, you know, it's sometimes you need a bye. And I think we got a bye at a good time. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
it's unfortunate though because we did find out no Montez Sweat for a couple of months. He got the Kanye West injury, so.
He got the Kanye West injury. What is that?
Yeah, he's got a broken jaw, man. He's getting his jaw wired shut.
Oh, you know a lot of people on our show a little bit too young for that reference right there. What was that, about 06 through the wire? I was just coming out of high school, I feel like, when Through the Wire came out.
It's kind of crazy that's been that long. But yeah, so we lose Montez Sweat. Chase Roullier is also gone. So yeah, you know, injuries. I mean, you understand injuries.
Oh, you know I understand.
So, I mean, yeah, you guys got the COVID thing too, man. So,
yeah, we got a lot to get to in that Giants game for sure, man.
It's been one of the craziest weeks in recent memory in the National Football League that it has been this week. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers' situation is, you know, over everybody's head. I mean, that's been a big topic of conversation. We're going to get to see Jordan Love. And for those of you that don't know, if you haven't watched Awthentik and The Beard in previous seasons, I'm a big Jordan Love supporter. I was high on him coming out of the draft. I thought he was going to be the next Patrick Mahomes, and he still obviously could be. I think, you know, sitting behind Aaron Rodgers is probably going to turn out to be pretty beneficial for him, I hope. And I'm excited for tonight's game, believe it or not. You know, Jonathan Taylor and Michael Pittman, another two, you know, young players that I was just through the roof high on last season. And, you know, I thought Jacob Eason was going to be the quarterback because I thought that draft that they put together for the Colts was a great draft, getting, you know, Jonathan Taylor, Michael Pittman, and Jacob Eason. Jacob Eason didn't turn out to be what I thought he was going to be in Indianapolis. I think he's actually, you know, he got waived. I think he got picked up by the Seahawks. So he's over there in Seattle now, I think. But yeah, so I'm excited. There's some young players here. Another young player too, Michael Carter, who I know a lot of people. Man,
save a little something for the game. You know what I'm saying? You out here just we might as well do that game first. You just say Michael Pittman.
You know, I'm excited about this game. There's some young players, so I'll leave it at that, and then we'll talk more about it a little bit later.
All right, well, let's jump to the chat, man. Say a couple of hellos, man. We'll jump into that first game one time.
Big shout out to the first person here, fresh off the World Series victory, Jameson Taylor. Big shout
Jameson Taylor, not to be confused with Jonathan Taylor. What's good, bro?
No Mets, no Nets, no Jets is in the building. What's going on? And Double E Z is in
He said, "You're
building.
killing me, Jameson. You're killing me, Smalls."
I had to highlight that one. It was too funny not to. There's a lot of conversation between those guys early on. Sunday is
I got to
the
go back
chat.
check that out. What's going on Sunday? How you doing,
Sunday?
Queen?
Always holding us down in the chat. We appreciate it as always. Faux show. Who else we got in the building? Marjorie is in the building. Always
What's going on,
holding us
Marjorie?
down in the chat. We appreciate it for sure. Let's see what we got going on. Lucas checking in from Australia. What's good,
up,
my
fam?
brother?
I think I gave Lucas a wrench last show, too, man. Salute to you, bro.
B time. That's what's up. Oh, Sabrina's in the building dropping biceps. What's going on,
What's going on, Sabrina?
Great to see you. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. Max Webster's in the building. What up, Max? Great to see you, sir. Antonio Bott.
Yeah, what's going on, Antonio? How you living, bro? I got to come over there and catch up with you.
Old Man Rob.
Old Man Rob. I don't know if I've seen Old Man Rob up in here. What's going on, Rob?
Either, but what's
How you living?
on?
I see the headphones. I hope you got some good tunes cranking in there. Maybe some authentic Color of Us, you know.
Link in the description of this video. Big shout out to the homie Cernock in the building holding us down. We appreciate it, brother. Good to see you,
brother?
Sir. TVN Sports.
Yes, sir. Resident Packers fan. What's going on, brother?
In the building. Monique.
Hey,
shout out
Monique.
to Monique, our Dallas Cowboys correspondent on the ground.
Cowboy riding high on that horse right now, Monique.
Yeah, I was doing a little digging a couple minutes before we went live in our pre-production meeting.
Oh yeah, as a lot of my Caucasian homies would say, it's time for you to eat some crow.
Yeah, the Dallas Cowboys are 14-6, I believe, in the month of December since Dak Prescott.
I think it was better than that, maybe, but I might be wrong.
Their quarterback. So, yep, I was
wrong.
Hey,
Monique, you should have seen this man trying to date back. He said since 1996, they still had a winning record.
Losing record.
Oh,
no, they got a losing record.
It was barely a losing record by like 5 games.
Oh, man. Who else we got in the building? Big shout out to Kyle Metcalf in the building.
What's going on,
Good
Kyle?
to see you, sir. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. Football talk with Benny.
Hey, Benny, what's going on, bro?
In the building. Oh, my man, Lax Ofofo.
Yes, sir. What's up, bro?
Checking in. We appreciate you stopping on.
That's the fan
by.
right there.
Speaking of Benny's, big shout out to Benny
hey,
holding us down in the chat.
Senior Benny in the building. What's going on, Benny?
So yes, thank you everybody for joining us here on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook. We appreciate all the love and the support.
Big facts.
I know you've been saying it every week, Monique, but it's still fun for me to say. It's an inside joke at this point now, you know?
I like that.
We'll see how things turn up this December for the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, Cowboys looking real good, man. Looking real good, man.
Indeed, indeed.
Appreciate everybody pulling up, man. We got a lot of folks in the building already, man. Let's get to this first game, man. Nice and early here one time, man. We're going to start with this Chargers-Eagles game. I've been trying to keep these short, but I got a whole soliloquy here in the first paragraph one time. There's a lot to cover in this game, but we're going to try to get through it, man. I know we're trying to get to this Giants game one time. All the Big Blue Nation is in the building one time. Y'all know what it is, man. All right, man. So the Los Angeles Chargers are facing adversity for the first time all season, losing 2 in a row to fall out of the AFC West lead while battling for a playoff spot in a talented conference. The Chargers head back to the Eastern time zone this week to square off against the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles are coming off a blowout win versus the Lions, but the Eagles have problems of their own at home this season, losing all 3 of its games at Lincoln Financial Field and 4 straight games at home dating back to last season. It's the Eagles' longest streak at home since dropping 10 in a row between 2012 and the 2013 seasons. Justin Herbert heads to Philadelphia for the first time as the Chargers look to stay above 500, while Jalen Hurts looks to keep the Eagles in contention for the final playoff spot in the NFC. The Beard, I'm going to let you get this one first, man. What you got for this game, brother?
I would hope that the Philadelphia Eagles would repeat what they did last week and run the ball. I mean, the Chargers' defense is their run defense is the worst in the National Football League.
Yep.
So it's a good opportunity. Maybe they were kind of like feeling things out in the Detroit game ahead of this Chargers game to kind of see where they were going to go with the run. I mean, Boston Scott filled in really, really nicely for Miles Sanders. Kenneth Gainwell was there as well. And then obviously Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts continues to kill it on the ground. The passing is going to be interesting. Both of these teams are top 10 defenses against the pass. The Philadelphia Eagles are 8th against the pass, and the Chargers are 5th against the pass. So this is going to be a real test for Jalen Hurts as far as the passing game goes. The Eagles are also really, really good in the red zone. They're 4th in the red zone in the National Football League as far as efficiency goes. So what the Chargers need to do is be careful of their penalties, because the Eagles love to take those deep shots down the field, and if they don't convert the actual pass, they seem to be doing really well at collecting pass interference penalties, which is giving them these opportunities in the red zone, and they're able to take advantage of those opportunities. So, I'll tell you what's really funny, because I heard somebody on the radio today, they were talking about Nick Sirianni, and I saw there's a tweet going around, the authentic realm about name an offensive coordinator worse, right? And this guy on the radio said, I wouldn't trust Nick Sirianni to mow my lawn, yet alone call my plays. I was like, goodness gracious.
I mean, he's got Jalen Hurts putting up some numbers, but his biggest problem is struggling to run the rock. And he's not calling the plays over there with the Eagles, right?
I think he is,
to a certain extent. I thought he gave up the job after week 3 or week 4 or something like that. I might be wrong on that.
Sure. It's definitely possible. But we talked about Jalen Hurts' total yardage in the National Football League. He is 8th in the NFL in total yards with 2,152 yards.
Yeah.
For the Chargers, Mike Williams is having a breakout year. We've kind of been waiting for Mike Williams to have this sort of a big year, and he's putting up really, really, really nice numbers. I want to say he's top 10 in the league in some of those wide receiver statistics. I want to say he's actually 4th or 5th in receptions overall.
Touchdowns too. He's
touchdowns.
6 touchdowns on the year. That's tied for 2nd in the AFC. I'm not sure if the receptions were up there. I didn't get a nugget on that. Because he does seem like he's been quiet during a lot of games, but he finds his way in the end zone.
Yeah, lately, the last couple of games in general, the Chargers have been off. Justin Herbert has had back-to-back pretty, subpar games.
Yeah.
But Austin Eckler, he's always a force to be reckoned with. I want to say he has 5 games this year with 100-plus yards from scrimmage. He's tied for 2nd in touchdowns with running backs. So, it's going to be an interesting matchup. I wasn't quite ready to call it a boat race. But, when you go over these offenses, it seems like it could be a possibility. It's just going to really depend on who is able to protect the football, because we know that the Eagles can have these moments where they can turn the ball over. And we've seen Justin Herbert obviously throw a couple of interceptions over the last couple of games. So it's going to be an interesting matchup for me, especially Justin Herbert, like what you said, going to Philly for the first time. I mean, Philly's not an easy place to play in. Even if you're a home player, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to always be performing when you're playing in Philly. So it's going to be an interesting matchup, I think.
Yeah, Philly is they're kind of sketchy because they have played some competition that's not that great. They're one of 4 teams right now to win multiple games by at least 24 points. They had that one game week 1 against the Atlanta Falcons where they put up like almost 40, I believe, and then they beat the Detroit Lions here, whatever that was, 40 and some change to 7, I believe was, or 6 or something like that. I'm not sold on the Eagles still. I mean, they are putting up yards and the statistics look pretty decent. You know what I mean? But they really haven't played great competition in their wins. I do like Boston Scott in this game. I'm going to do a little plug for the parlay real quick one time. I talked about Boston Scott last week, scooped him up. He got me 18 points as one of my running backs in my lineup. 60 rushing yards with 2 touchdowns. And then Jordan Howard took away a couple of his carries there, man, late, which kind of bothered me. He got 2 touchdowns as well. The Eagles ended up running for 200-plus yards in that game. Yeah. Not a lot scares me on this Eagles defense. Javon Hargrave definitely balling out. He's got 6 sacks on the season. He's 1 shy of a career high and tied for the most by an interior lineman in the NFL right now, which I think he's doing a fantastic job. But I do like the Chargers in this game. Justin Herbert, this should be a good bounce-back game for him. I want to say they've lost 2 straight games here. You got Keenan Allen out there doing damage. He's tied for 5th in the AFC with 45 receptions, 31 catches away from 700 in his career, which is a milestone for sure. We talked about Mike Williams. He can definitely do some things. I just scooped up Jared Cook as my tight end because I had Robert Tonyan fall out with the injury, so I went and scooped up Jared Cook as well. And I like Derwin James Jr. on defense. I think he's going to be a big reason why they will be able to stop the run. Right now, he's leading all defensive backs in the NFL with 63 tackles on the season. He also has 3 fumbles. And big shout-out to the homie Marcellus Wiley, because Derwin James is the first Charger player to do that in the first 7 games since Marcellus Wiley did it in 2001. And if y'all watch Awthentik and The Beard a lot, you know I'm a big fan of Emmanuel Acho and Marcellus Wiley. I think they got one of the best shows on TV right now as well, but not the best. You know, we got Awthentik and The Beard, obviously not on TV, but the best show not on TV one time. But, you know, there's weapons there for Herbert for sure, man. The Chargers, man, also, they're one of the teams that are very good on 4th down. They go for it a lot. They're only one of 2 teams right now that have converted at least 8 4th down attempts. They're 9 for 13 on 4th down. That's 69%. It's 3rd best percentage in the NFL right now. And also, you know, when I talk about my Giants a lot, we talk about how we stall out a lot in the 3rd quarter. And the Los Angeles Chargers are really good in the 3rd quarter, man. 66 points this year. In the 3rd quarter, which is tied for 6th in the NFL. So I'd look for them. If they're not leading the game at the half, I think they'll bounce back in the 3rd quarter and get things, you know, going in the right direction. Give me the Chargers in this game, man. I think the Chargers are going to handle the Eagles. I don't even think it'll be that close of a game. I think their defense will keep Jalen Hurts out of that end zone as much as possible. We know he's been a red zone maniac this year. He's got 5 rushing touchdowns. I want to say he has 9 or 10 passing touchdowns. Jalen Hurts is definitely looking like a pretty decent quarterback that you could probably build around, and yet people are still saying, you know, maybe they're going to trade for Deshaun Watson. I even heard this week that the Eagles were thinking about bringing in Russell Wilson in a trade. We always hear these outlandish claims with no real backing to them. So for me, man, until further notice, I like what I'm seeing out of Jalen Hurts there. I think if Sirianni is going to be the coach next season, you'll see another year from Jalen Hurts as well. You got to find a way to just play to his strengths. I think this is not quite the game. The Eagles are not one of those teams that can really compete. I feel like with a team like the Chargers, we saw the Dallas Cowboys take care of the Chargers in week 3, I believe that was. And that was very surprising in its own right there. But give me the Chargers in this game. I think the Chargers will win this one probably about like a good, I'm going to go 29-16 Chargers.
Another name to look out for the Chargers in that defense is Asante Samuel Jr., rookie defensive back, having a great year. Excuse me. So I definitely would keep my eye on him. I think he's going to have a big game. I'm actually going to go on a limb and make a prediction that Asante Samuel Jr. has an interception in this game. I do think I kind of went back and forth on this a little bit. I mean, Vegas has the Chargers only as 2-point favorites right now. That line has been moving all over the place since it first came out. At one point in time, I want to say that the Eagles were actually favored in this game. But it has moved back to the Chargers -2. Over-under is 50 points. I'm going to go with the Chargers. I think the Chargers are going to do enough to hold off the Eagles. But I think it's going to be 27-17.
27-17. Yeah, we're pretty equal on that one.
I don't know. Listen. How long do you think it's been since Jordan Howard scored a touchdown in that game?
Maybe like a couple years. Because I'm trying to think about his journey here. He was in Miami first, or was he with the Bears first?
I think he was originally with the Bears first.
Yeah.
And I can't remember who that other running back was that was there with him at that time, who was a beast. But, man, I tell you, the running backs, they had them good years, and then all of a sudden they just disappeared.
Yeah, a lot of it is scheme, man.
That? What was his name? Oh, it's going to drive me crazy. He was Matt Forte.
Oh, yeah, Matt Forte. His career, man, and he was like a top 10 back for a long time. His career kind of just plummeted. I can't even remember where he went after that.
I don't think he went anywhere else.
Nah, I think he did go somewhere else, man. I think he did. I'll look it up. I'm looking up the numbers for Jordan Howard right now to see when the last time was that he scored a touchdown. He had 4 touchdowns in 2020.
Really?
So yeah, he was on 2 teams. Yeah, he was with Miami for half the year for 5 games, and then he got scooped up late by the Eagles and played in 2 games for the Eagles. He scored a touchdown. Oh no, he didn't score a touchdown with the Eagles, but he had 4 with Miami early in the year in 2020.
Interesting.
Yeah, and then let's check out Matt Forte while you get that.
Joel Vargas for the $10 super chat. Els from Twitter here. Authentic.
My G,
you really
was good.
Believe Goff and Davis Mills are better than Daniel Jones, or
See, now this is where assumptions get to be crazy, bro. And I wanted to save this for the Giants matchup, to talk a lot about this, but I'll get this one out the way. I appreciate the super chat, Els. You fam. Never, not once did I say that Davis Mills is better than Daniel Jones or Goff. I'm gonna leave that in the air a little bit. I don't know, to be honest, but all I did was post the statistics of quarterbacks who have more touchdowns than Daniel Jones on the season. People took that, they spun that however they wanted to spin that. Somebody said I was reaching when I did that. I'm just posting the stats, bro. Don't shoot the messenger. I know you seeing 300, but this is Sparta. I know you seeing 300. But let's just keep it funky. I'm not saying Davis Mills is better than Daniel Jones. I think he's got like 3 or 4 more interceptions than Daniel Jones. But at the same time, it is pitiful that we're even mentioning those two guys' names in the same sentence with Daniel Jones. With everything that has happened in New York, I get it. The injuries have been crazy. But at the same time, it's like those two guys shouldn't even be named with a guy that we're considering a franchise quarterback, or, as some like to say, our franchise quarterback. So, I mean, that's for your interpretation. Jared Goff is more accomplished than Daniel Jones. I wouldn't say he's better. He's got better statistics this year on an 0-8 team, which is crazy. He's got more passing yards, higher completion percentage, and more touchdowns than Daniel Jones, and the Lions are 0-8. And I don't want to hear it's garbage time, because in a lot of those games they got blown out, they didn't even score over 14 points.
Yeah. The games where he's actually putting up numbers are the games where they're kind of close. You know what I'm saying?
There was a San Francisco 49ers game where they put up like 33 points. I know a lot of that. And we talked about this, Beard. You said you didn't believe in garbage time. I said, well, what about when the Raiders was up 33-7 against the Philadelphia Eagles entering the third quarter? You were like, that's not garbage time. So, I mean, according to the Beard's reference definition here, that's not even garbage time, because the Detroit Lions were definitely down big in that 49ers game. I think they was down by like at least 3 scores in that game. For me, that's a little bit of garbage time, but the New York Giants are sitting at 2-6. You mean tell me we're not getting garbage time? We got garbage time. See, and this, Beard, I got to get you to fix this, because you leaving too much dead air silence, and then you want to say something, right? But let's just keep it funky, right? The Rams game, they allowed Daniel Jones to play against the backups for the whole second half. The backups outscored us 10-8. What are we saying? I'll leave that to interpretation for y'all. If y'all want to say that Goff is better than Daniel Jones, you could say that. If you want to say that Davis Mills is better. But all I'm doing, bro, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just posting the statistics. They are what they are.
There's nothing else that you can say. But the thing that's crazy about Goff is he literally has nobody.
Yeah.
Playing
you know what somebody's response was to me on Twitter about this? They said Jared Goff has a top 5 running back duo in Detroit.
No. To be a top 5 running back duo, you have to be able to run the ball too. Like,
that's what they were trying to get to, kind of.
I understand that, DeAndre Swift is a beast. You know what I'm saying? But DeAndre Swift is catching the ball. Jamal Williams is running the ball, but he's not. It's not like Jamal Williams is a top 10, top 15 running back. Like, you can't have a top 5 running back duo and not have one of those running backs be a top 15, top 10, 15, whatever you want running back. They got to be one of those. And
the homies, the crazy part is, he was like, you're posting too much stuff about Daniel Jones, I'm going to unfollow you. The homie who said this about the Lions having one of the best running back duos, I was like, bro, unfollow me. I don't care. Like, I'm not sitting here begging people for followers, bro. Like, if you want to unfollow me for a disagreement of opinion, do you, man. I'm not even tripping off that. But DeAndre Swift does lead the league in receiving yards for running backs. But what does that say about their running back duo? It doesn't say much. I mean, Jamal Williams is like just over 300 yards on the season. I mean, they're not running the rock particularly well, and there's a lot of teams out there that are running the ball well. I mean, the top 3 to come to mind right now are the Browns, the Ravens, and the Cowboys. So you mean to tell me that with the other 2 slots, we're going to try to slide into Detroit Lions at 0-8? We can't do that. We just can't do that. But, I mean, at the end of the day, man, don't shoot the messenger. Don't shoot the messenger. All I did was post stats. Like, I posted some others. We're going to get to it. I posted some Jason Garrett statistics from 2009, and people were like, you think that's supposed to work in 2021? I'm like, bro, that's not what I'm saying. But the lowest amount of touchdowns that Jason Garrett has ever put up in a full season with his quarterbacks was 22. 7? We'll get there. We're going to get there, Beard. We're going to get there.
We're going to get there.
We're going to get there.
Going to get there. Speaking of, I mean, now I'm looking at some of these quarterbacks. I'm just thinking to myself, it's kind of crazy. 7 touchdowns.
Bro, you don't even go over it because I got a whole thing for that Giants game. And we're going to get there fast today. We got no Washington game. We ain't got to take no commercial breaks today. I'm ready, bro. I'm ready to definitely chop up these nuggets. I told you off air, I had a couple homies DMing me some nuggets like, bro, people wilding on you right now on Twitter. I got to send you some nuggets for the show. I was like, all right, I'm going to definitely use them. It's a fantastic 10-piece nugget. It came with barbecue sauce and sweet and sour. I'm pretty happy about it. All right, so we going to the next game? What we doing, Beard? What are we doing, man?
We're on the next game.
What are we doing, bro? Are we going to the next game or what?
Yeah, we both picked the score. Yeah.
All right, man. So Halloween is over, and the Cowboys escaped what could have been a nightmare Halloween night, turning it into quite the treat with Cooper Rush-led victory over the Minnesota Vikings. Now, as we move into November, the stakes start to get a little bit higher, and each game starts to mean a little bit more. Even though the Cowboys have a healthy NFC East divisional lead, they would try to keep their 6-game winning streak. When's the last time I said that about the Cowboys, man? They trying to keep a 6-game winning streak intact, man, as they welcome the Broncos to AT&T Stadium for a 1 o'clock matchup as the favorites. Dak Prescott told reporters today that he expects to play, so I expect him to play if he's saying that. So we all should expect to see number 4 out there in Jerry World doing what he does best, and that's lead the Cowboys to victories in 2021. The Beard, what's your thoughts on this game, brother?
Good defense versus a great offense. It's interesting because the Broncos, their defensive statistics, I think a lot of it has to do with that start of the season for them.
Yeah.
You're laughing at double
the
easy.
Chat is wilding, yo.
So yeah, the Denver Broncos are 6th in defense, I believe. Denver is 6th overall in defense, and Dallas is the number 1 overall offense.
That's a very misleading stat too, man. You look at them first 4 games.
Exactly, because then in the games that the Broncos have played against higher competition, they gave up 34 points to the Raiders. They gave up 27 points to the Steelers. They gave up 23 points to Baltimore. All in all, they're only allowing 17.1 points per game. But like I said, I think a lot of that has to do with how they started against some of those other teams.
Yeah, the Washington football team 2-6 now. The New York Giants 2-6 now. The New York Jets 2-6 now. The Jacksonville Jaguars 2-6 now, maybe.
No. They have not gotten that second win yet. We're not going to talk about
1-7 now. Yeah, that's 4 really awful teams right there.
It is, and okay. It's kind of funny because there's a lot of correlation between this, the offensive coordinator talk. I did some digging, and I'll tell you what. The Denver Bronco fan base absolutely despises Pat Shurmur.
That's interesting. He's not working with a lot over there.
They really don't like his play calling, apparently. I saw one person was writing, not like a fan, like a beat writer or a contributor of some sort. They were like, if the Broncos want to have any chance at winning this game, Teddy Bridgewater and the offense has to ignore every play that Pat Shurmur calls.
That's interesting, man.
The headsets aren't working. So it is kind of interesting, but I think the Broncos have a chance, obviously. And I mean, when I say they have a chance, I don't mean any given Sunday chance. I mean, I think they legitimately have a chance. Obviously, I would feel a little bit better about this game if it was in Denver. But this is in Dallas, and the Dallas Cowboys, their offense is just clicking. And you mean, even with Cooper Rush, you still saw how many weapons they have on the field. And I thought that offensively they ran a good game plan without Dak Prescott. But the Broncos have 2 good running backs. And I think, we talk about it a lot, and it might come off as a cliche, but I think that if Denver can control the ball, control the clock, that's going to be – I mean, it's cliche, yes, but it's proven to work. And I mean, like, it's a valid thing. Like, if you can control the clock and keep Dallas off of the field offensively and make, you have to score though. And that has been
That's the
Denver's
number one
problem.
point. Yeah.
Yeah, they're only averaging 19.6 points per game.
That's trash.
Which, you know what I'm saying? It's just not, you're not going to be able to beat Dallas with 20 points. Like, I'm not exactly sure what Dallas has put up every single game, but I'm pretty sure they've scored more than 20 points in every single game except for maybe the Chargers game.
I think they got 20 against the Chargers. I'm pretty sure. Let me see here.
I thought that was like 17-10 or something like that. I might be mistaken.
Oh, maybe they lost 20-17. Let me see. So Chargers, 20-17. They won 20-17 though, so they put up 20.
Yeah.
So every other game has been over 20. I mean, they just putting up big numbers. 44 on the Giants. They put up 35 on the Patriots, 41 on the Eagles. They put up 29 in a loss to the Buccaneers, the 20 against the Chargers, and then they put up 36 against the Panthers, who were considered the top defense at the time. The Cowboys is just on fire.
They're on fire. And so what's interesting, I saw a stat was that, okay, if you can keep Dallas under 325.8 yards.
Come on.
You might have a chance. Once they cross that threshold of yardage, your shots are going out the window because they are 7-0 against the spread and 6-1 overall once they cross the threshold of 325.8 total yards of offense.
I mean, that's going to be damn near impossible to stop the Cowboys to keep them under 325. Look, 3 of Dak's 7 games, he's gone over 300 passing yards. In 2 of those 3, he went over 400. He has 3 touchdown passes in every game but 1. You're not going to hold them to 325 total yards, bro. You got 2 monster running backs in the backfield.
Yep.
CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper is looking like a top I must just say a top wide receiver in the NFL right now. That game he had last week, what did he have last week? 8 catches, 122 yards, and a game-winning touchdown with a backup.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was a good game. I'm not saying that the Broncos are going to do it. I'm just trying, what I like to do? I try to map out a road
325 is crazy, bro. If you would have said passing yards, I'd have been like, yeah, maybe they got a chance. You said 325 total yards, bro. They ain't the New York Giants. Dak Prescott ain't about to go out there and put up 198, 222.
He could, if he goes out there and puts up, let's say he goes out there and puts up 280, and they hold Zeke and Pollard.
Listen to what you're about to say out your mouth.
To below 50 yards total.
Hey, listen. This ain't Devontae Booker.
Hey, big shout out to BB Jones in the building.
Hey, what's up, BB? He said, keep mapping.
Because look,
shout out BB Jones.
Hey, look, do you know what Zeke Elliott did last time he played against the Denver Broncos?
What I don't know. When was that? Last season?
No, it was a long time ago. But
what did he do?
He had 8 yards on 9 carries.
Okay, why the hell did he get 9 carries?
I'm just saying.
When was it? When was it?
That was his second season in the league, so I want to say 2017.
I love this. We didn't even talk about no nuggets or no notes before the show. That is hilarious. It was like second year in the league. Hey Mo, get your mans, Mo. He said, I try to map this out. He went all the way back to Zeke's second year.
That was the last time he played Denver. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what else you want me to say.
That is good.
I'm just saying that, there are some possibilities. Obviously, the Broncos just traded away Von Miller. So they're going to need somebody to step up.
Bradley Chubb might not be in this game either.
Yeah, he's questionable right now. So this map is like shredding up slowly as we progress through this.
Their starting
segment.
cornerback is out in this game too. What's his name? Bryce Callahan. He's going to be out.
Patrick Surtain Jr. is going to pick off Dak Prescott in this game. I'm predicting interceptions this week. So I got Patrick Surtain picking off Dak Prescott in this game. Okay, that's going to happen. Malik Reed, he stepped up last week. He had 2 sacks in the Washington game. I think he has 4 sacks on the year total now. So there's definitely some road mappage here for
they're gonna
Denver Broncos.
They're gonna have to bring a bulldozer and plow through some trees to try to make a road to a victory against the Dallas Cowboys. Dak Prescott only has 4 interceptions on the whole season right now. 16 touchdowns, man.
I mean, he's playing really good football. Listen, the Dallas Cowboys are good.
And you know that the Cowboys are the team. They have 2 games this year where they turned the ball over twice early, and the opposing team didn't even get a touchdown or a point off it.
That's what is important, and that's why I said, like, the Broncos, if they're able to maintain ball control in this game and win the time of possession, the only way that they'll have a chance is if they produce points by that time of possession. Like, you can't win the time of possession and go 2 for 5 in the red zone like some teams that I know, or 0 for 6.
And you're going to have to maximize red zone possessions, because even if you win the time of possession battle and you're the Broncos in this game, I still think if you get 3 possessions in the red zone, you're not going to win this game. You could go 2 for – I mean, the Giants just went 2 for 3 against the Chiefs and lost the game 20-16? Mm-hmm. The Broncos are that style of squad. You know what I'm saying? So for them, they got to maximize their opportunities. Not only be efficient when you're in the red zone, but maybe try to get yourself like 4 or 5, maybe 6 red zone attempts for real.
Do you think – I mean – so I said the Broncos, they're ranked 6th in defense, right? And we talked about how a lot of that probably has to do with the teams that they faced in the beginning of the year. And
100%.
And they lost on what was it, 4 games in a row.
Yeah.
And obviously, shout out to my homie Toothpick at First String Podcast. They took two pills of the Washington football team and seemed to get back on track. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, do you think there's somewhere in the middle of how they played in the beginning of the year against those bad teams and then going on that losing streak, or do you think they're more so just a below?
No, they're not a bad defense, but the trade with Von Miller shows you where they at. If they were
selling.
It's crazy because they're a 500 team right now. You would think that, I mean, if the Giants didn't even trade nobody and we sitting at 2-6. If we were 500, we definitely ain't trading. We not making no moves. That they let go of Von Miller lets you know what they're thinking about with the future, which makes me kind of have a little bit of concern for Teddy Bridgewater going into next season. I think they're going to clean house with the quarterback situation over there at the end of the year.
I can't remember what his contract was, if it was a 1-year deal or not.
I'd imagine it's like a 1-year deal with an option, for the second year. Yeah.
Team option.
Team option, yeah.
I mean,
but the Cowboys got too much power. They got too much power, bro. Like, offensively, CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper, dog. I mean, just ridiculous, man. Amari Cooper on the year got 5 touchdowns. He's averaging 13 yards per catch, 495 yards, 38 receptions. CeeDee Lamb's got 4 touchdowns. They're combined for 9 touchdowns. CeeDee Lamb's averaging 15.6 yards per catch. He's got 609 yards on the year already. They both on pace for 1,000 and double-digit touchdowns. We talking like McVay and the Rams kind of vibes right now. And with Dak Prescott really slinging the rock all over the place. I said this already once before, but you're looking at 16 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. He's almost already hit 2,000 yards. 73% completion percentage from Dak Prescott, bro. They playing flawless football right now. We could go to the defensive side of the ball, too. Everybody already knows the story with Trayvon Diggs, but let's talk about the other cornerback over there, Anthony Brown. In man-to-man coverage, PFF has him rated number 1 right now. That's probably because of Trayvon Diggs as well, too, but he's got 2 interceptions on the year. One of them was a pick 6.
And they have so many good players. And we talk about this name every week now, it feels like. And Gregory, oh my God, that dude is just on a mission this year. And then
that's the phrase we got to keep using that I was saying. That man is on a mission because he ain't no young pup. Sure. He's on a mission.
Yeah, and he's playing lights out football. And this is the crazy thing too, is they don't even have Dexter Lawrence back yet.
Right.
Wait till he comes back.
He's got 5 sacks, 11 quarterback hits in the last 4 games, bro. That could be 2 player statistics on my team.
There's not a lot of holes in this Dallas team. And that's why, I'm throwing paper against the wall to see what sticks. I mean, I'm not saying that Denver's going to win, but I feel like it's my responsibility to try and, help them game plan wise with a roadmap to victory.
Yeah, you got to dig back to stats to back to when you said.
I'm just saying, because it was all part of my, my cumulative statistical output, right? So it's like if I want to keep
that was some SAT type words you just tried to throw at us right there. 3 of them back to back. Shout out to Beard with the beardisms.
If I want to try and keep them below 325.8 yards, right? Let's say Dak go for 280 yards. You know what I'm saying? So I got to keep Pollard and Zeke below 50 yards. And then, the together 8 yards on 9 carries, kind of like, just was a little bit of a little push towards that statistical anomaly happening. That's all.
I see some people in the chat talking about a trade that Gettleman declined. What y'all talking about? Tell me what name y'all talking about so I know who that is. What up,
Slayton and Ingram.
Slayton and Ingram for who? They said he got an offer?
I don't know. I didn't see anybody who
Cookie Monster said
actual.
Jeffy is definitely Gettleman's ego for declining the trade. He doesn't want to admit drafting those players was a mistake. I'm curious as to what he declined. But, with you talking about sustaining these drives with the Broncos, here's the problem, man. On third down, they're terrible. They're converting just 34% on third down. Cowboys are coming off a game right now against the Minnesota Vikings where they were 1 for 13 on third down. And they're about to play one of the worst teams in the NFL right now on third down. I really don't see no path. If I know Coach Beard was trying to hype up the Denver Broncos team in the huddle, like, hey, this is what we're going to do. Remember that game when we played Zeke Elliott back in 1996 and he ran for 9 yards? That's the game plan. I would just keep it funky and be like, look, y'all ain't got no chance, man. Ain't got no chance. You can't
say that to your team, though, man.
Hey, somebody needs to say that to the Giants right now.
That's some reverse psychology.
Coach show me different. Show me different. Because I don't think y'all can win this game. You want to call the plays? That's what I'd say. You want to call the plays? Teddy, you want to call the plays?
All right, let me ask you this. Do you think Denver can cover the spread? 9.5
What is it
points?
right now? 9.5
points?
Nah. They better hope for some rain or something. Something crazy. I got that one being high scoring again from Dallas. Like, that's going to be one of them games I feel like, and I hope I'm not wrong on this so we can pull this back up for Twitter. That's going to be one of them games where you see, like, Zeke Elliott and Dak Prescott on the sideline, like.
In the fourth quarter? Yeah.
Slapping fives and all that. It's going to be one of those kind of games.
Yeah, it probably is. I'm ready to give you a score, I guess.
What kind of score you got here?
The Dallas Cowboys, 31. But the Denver Broncos, 21.
Just miss.
Yeah, 31-21. Dallas is going to win.
Let me think about this. I want to try to get this one spot on. I'm going to say 37-13 Cowboys.
Seems reasonable, very reasonable. Okay, all right. Let's do this really fast before we move on. Because I know we got a lot for the Giants game. Zeke Elliott, over or under 75 yards rushing?
It's hard to say, man, because they've been doing it with a dual back system all year long. Over 75. Okay. He's only got 2 100-yard games on the season, and he had one game where he had 97 yards. I'll take the under. As a team, they'll rush for 125.
All right, so that's what I was going to say. Over or under 100 for team rushing?
Over, 1,000%.
I think they go under 100 yards rushing between the two of them. Shout out to Tuto for the $4.99 super chat. Says, Salute, paisani. Drop by your office to pay our proper respect. And
turn on the lights. I like that.
For the show, Paisano, forget about it.
Shout out to homie Tudo one time in the building, man. We appreciate you, Tudo. Tudo's becoming like one of the biggest supporters of Awthentik and The Beard, man. I got to give you a shout out damn near every episode, man. Hope all is well with the rugby squad over there in Italy, man. Y'all keep, Kicking ass and taking names over there, bro. Do your thing, man. Appreciate you, man, pulling up to the podcast, and we appreciate the $4.99 super chat, brother.
For sure.
Double Easy said, Tuto! Shout out to gang one time in the building, man. So over under, we said 100. Yeah, we're taking that. I'm going about 125 rushing yards from the Dallas Cowboys. Dak Prescott, 340. I'm going to say about 340, 350 on him one time on the head. Easy. And the Cowboys ride off into the sunset with another victory to make it 7 straight, bro. I'm about to turn into a Cowboys fan for the rest of the season. Yeah, you know, they're looking like the front runner, and you know me, I always represent for the NFC East. We are the best division in football, so if they go to the playoffs, I ain't going to be one of these salty fans hoping that they don't win and, you know, just so I could say, told you, what can go wrong will go wrong, Stephen A. Smith and all that stuff. Nah, like if they get there, I hope they could actually get themselves a number 1 seed because right now they're playing really good football. The better chunk of their schedule about to come up here towards the second half of the season. I want to see how they fare against some of these better teams on the schedule. You know, I would love to see a rematch of them against the Bucs. I think they could take the Bucs in a rematch.
You're a better man than I am, Authentic. I'll give you that.
No
so
question,
let me ask you
bro.
this then. Let me ask you this then.
Yeah, come on.
Where do you have Dallas in your power rankings? NFC power rankings. We'll make it a little bit
NFC
easier.
power rankings. I mean, here's the thing. I think the Rams are really high up there, but I think that the Cowboys could beat the Rams right now. I put them at number. I mean, screw it. I'll put them at number 1. Like I just said, I think if they had a rematch against the Bucs, I think they can beat the Bucs. I think they could beat the Rams in the playoffs, you know, pending them getting tight and, you know, the pressure cooking and they fall apart. And then you got the Arizona Cardinals, who I think are, you know, that offense is definitely popping with them. But when they get cold, what you going to do?
Well, I was going to ask the same thing about Dallas. What are we going to see Dallas do if they have to go play Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay in the playoffs?
They're going to say, hey, Zeke, here, bro. Run somebody over for a first down on 3rd and 13 to win the game.
I mean, we'll see.
What?
We'll see.
I mean, what? Does that sound wrong? How many other power backs are there in the NFL?
I don't know if Zeke is that. I mean, when I hear that, I think of Derrick Henry. I don't necessarily think of Zeke Elliott.
Even Derrick Henry. You remember he went back-to-back with those monster games in the playoffs, and then the Patriots, I believe, was it the Chiefs? It was the Chiefs. The Chiefs held him like 30 yards.
Yeah.
And that's why the Chiefs ended up in the Super Bowl. But I'll tell you this, man. If I had to pick a running back on a cold day to start for me, Zeke Elliott's top 5.
Really?
Who else we going to pick? Dalvin Cook, maybe. Derrick Henry.
Dalvin Cook, Derrick Henry, Nick Chubb.
Nick Chubb, maybe. Did you realize that when the Cleveland Browns were playing against the Pittsburgh Steelers in a game that was relatively cold, when it was time to run out the clock, they couldn't even keep giving the ball to Nick Chubb? I'm not putting Nick Chubb over Zeke Elliott in the cold weather. On a regular day, yeah. And even Dalvin Cook, I'm not putting him over Zeke Elliott on a cold day. Did you see that? Did you see that catch and run Sunday night?
That was a great play. Yeah, I mean,
not many players can make that play, man.
I mean, that sealed the game.
Yeah, not many players make that play. And he made it where it was like, yo, we thinking about tying up the game with a field goal to being like, hey, man, let's kind of drain the rest of this clock and then put this ball in the end zone and win the game.
I think that I definitely got to give kudos to him for that because I think that's even more than just a physical great play. That's mentally a great play because he knows he's got to get that first down. You know what I'm saying? Because that seals the game if you get that first down there.
Yeah,
changes.
It's third down. You know, it was third down and 13.
You got to kick the field goal if you don't get that.
If you don't get
down.
it right, and it was a check down, bro. But now I want to get back to something here. Who else you putting in that top 5? We named 3. Was Nick Chubb 4? You had Cook, Henry, Chubb,
and then I kind of got to think about it, man. Maybe Aaron Jones.
Nope.
Not giving it Aaron Jones, Jonathan Taylor.
Nope. Nope. Jonathan Taylor right now over Zeke. I like Jonathan Taylor too. He's a good running back too.
I mean, I think Jonathan Taylor.
Ooh, thank you for this, Monique. Only 4 games are under 75 yards. I like that. I
don't know if I'm giving it to DeAndre Swift. Can't give you that one, Cookie Monster.
Ooh, no way. What's up, Miz? I see my homie Miz in the building one time. He says Jones, Green Bay, too. I give you Jones. That's 4. Where else do we go? McCaffrey?
I don't think – I mean –
2 injury problems.
McCaffrey's – I mean, if he's healthy, yeah.
He's probably going to get hurt.
No, yeah, when you lay it out on the line, I mean, you got to say, I guess.
Aaron Jones.
He's right on the line of the top 5 there for sure. He just doesn't come to my mind immediately. But you're
because
right.
You don't like the Cowboys.
No, but listen, I don't like the Cowboys, obviously.
Right,
but I give proper respect when respect is due. Big shout out to Tuto for the $4. You know who I'm giving the ball to in December? Tuto. For the $4.99 super chat. Says rugby players take every game as if it's live or die. War on the battlefield every week. Super focused and serious. We're all brothers keepers.
Remember New Jack City? I am my brother's keeper. And then he killed him. It was a cold. Nino Brown was a cold son of a gun.
Yeah.
Remember he grabbed
Cookie
a baby
Monster.
during
Cookie
the
Monster
drive-by.
is ready to give you everybody, and anybody.
The entire 49ers running back squad. Homie Raheem Mostert was a good running back in the cold, though. I will give Cookie Monster that. But nope, not over Zeke. Not over Zeke. Ain't no way. Brandon Jacobs, oh, yeah, I'm taking Brandon. I'm taking any of them glory New York Giants running backs. You know what it is, man. Big Blue, Giants Nation in the building one time.
Elijah Mitchell, though, is definitely he's playing really crazy football the last couple of weeks. Najee Harris, though, I mean, obviously he's a rookie, so like I'm not necessarily looking at my rookie like, okay, I can't just sit here and say Najee Harris over Zeke Elliott because then that would be extreme haterism. But I do think that Najee Harris is going to be one of those running backs. I mean, he's a rookie and nobody is touching the ball as much as Najee Harris is. And Najee Harris will give you a mean stiff arm.
Is he up there like in the top of the league in carries right now over most running backs?
Yeah, he has to be.
Yeah.
Has to be. Because there's nobody else over there. He is just dominating the touches over there. So I mean, he's definitely going to be one of those guys for sure.
Yeah, Pittsburgh definitely looks to find those running backs for sure, but I'm not going for that with no Zeke Elliott, bro.
Big shout out to Tuto for the $4.99 super chat. Says the entire New York Giant roster should come to our corner in Italy next season off. So we train and show them how to pound and grind to make men out of the girls.
I don't like that last statement there. Pound, grind, men, girls. You're doing a little much there too, though. You know what I mean? I know y'all over there in Italy, y'all talk a little differently than we do, man. But shout out to the homie Tudo one time in the building, man. Big love for the homie Tudo. A lot of people in the chat are saying Joe Mixon.
Joe Mixon can carry the rock. I feel like you need somebody who can
truck people.
Not even just truck people, yeah. I mean, but I feel like that's just a more of a visual, mental thing. But you need somebody who can carry the load. Let's just say that.
Let's just say that, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zico is that guy.
I mean, we'll see. Because, listen, there were early in the season, before we move on, early in the season, I was down on Zeke Elliott, and then he had those back-to-back big games, and I came back and I said I was wrong to write Zeke off because I thought maybe it was over for him, but he has proven me wrong, and I think the way that they're using him with Pollard and giving Pollard more burn has actually helped Zeke come back to form. So shout out to the coaching staff over there.
Hey, yo, shout out to homie Nick the Wick one time. He said, just got done joyriding. You remember that first? I remember my first drive with a homie who had the license. It was with Mickey. We went to go see Sally and Latrina. Drove over to their crib. We was playing Most Def, Black on Both Sides, and Juvenile's first album was at 400 Degrees.
400 Degrees.
Riding down Georgia Avenue, man, and I just felt like a brand new man. So shout out to homie Nick the Wick one time, man. He just passed the license test, got the wheels on the road. What you whipping, yo? Did the folks hook you up with a bucket, or did they bless you with something real nice? Because where I come from, they bless you with a bucket first. You don't get a nice car for the first car, but I don't know.
My first car was a 1988 blue Ford Ranger 2-door pickup.
Yeah, we definitely was on the route in that thing, man. That truck was solid. That truck was solid.
I mean, we fit 5 people in that.
You remember the time we left the DJ mixer on the top of that thing? We drove about probably a good mile. We left the
Well,
DJ
it had to
mixer
be more
on.
than that because it was from Tom's house, and we realized it at the McComas, Georgia Avenue.
Yeah, that's about a good mile, man.
Yeah.
My house to Glen Haven. My house to Sligo was a half a mile.
Yeah, so we're looking at about 2 miles.
Yeah. That thing didn't fall off the roof. We was so shocked. Reached out the window. That thing was, I remember Tom did like this, and it was right there. We were like, what? Yeah, but salute to the homie NTW, man. He says, my mom's car I drive for now got like $8,000 in the bank, and parents said they would help out. That, hey, yo, $8,000 in the bank with a little help, you going to be able to get you something real nice, man. Get you a nice little hot date, Shotgun shorty.
Laxo44 says his first car was a 1999 Subaru Legacy Outback station.
I like them joints. You could get real grimy with the Subaru Legacy joints. Them joints, you could take them off road.
Waterfly 85 Mercury.
Oh, that's
Cougar
throwback.
With no
that's
shocks.
Throwback. Waterfly the OG. That's why he got the 85 Mercury Cougar one time. I had a 1988 Honda Civic 4-door joint first that I didn't even get on the road. And then my pops gave me $3,000, like from some settlement money that he had got my junior year of high school. And I went and got the 93 Honda Civic EX Coupe that I should have had the picture ready. I'm gonna post that on Twitter or the gram so y'all can see how I decked out that old Honda Civic. I had some good times in that car, man. Ooh, the 06 BMW 325. My man Don Vito one time in the building. Yeah, man.
You got that Teflon Don mobster money whipping the. Here we go. They're coming in now.
Yeah, Glock had the Ranger.
Zach had the '86 Chevy Caprice Classic. That's a well-known
box joint
car around these parts.
Yeah.
Lucas,
not that model though. That '86 was a different box model.
Not the bubble one.
Yeah, that's not the bubble. The bubble was in the '90s.
Lucas had the '85 Ford Fairmont. Glock
Ford Fairmont. Oh, I don't remember them joints.
Glock had an '82 Ford Ranger, bright
That's probably
red.
like yours a little bit. The 94 Oldsmobile, I know all about them joints. Marisa had the Oldsmobile that was like that. When I used to go get my shape-ups at Cindy, we used to borrow her car, drive that joint to 4-door. Them joints was nice.
Kyle Metcalf had a 73 Chevy.
Hey, I've never heard this one right here. Jay Versick says that I resemble Lazy Bone a little bit. I ain't never heard that one. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. I'm with that.
Monique had a 2010 orange Dodge.
I remember that joint, Monique. Yo, Monique had that blinged out orange neon. I forgot about that joint, yo. That's what's up.
Big shout out to Stan Albert, too. OGs, we hear. Me and Authentic been using that Zoe energy on some
big
fans
facts.
on Twitter this week. First car, Honda Accord 09 EX.
Ooh, 09. Let me think. The 09 Honda. Oh, those were nice. That was like the one Tom had. Tom had that coupe like around 06, I think. 94. Ooh, 94 Accord, one of my 2-door or the 4-door joint right there. No Mets, no Nets, no Jets. I love that 94 Accord, man. Marco had the 95 Accord, had the 212s in the trunk. We used to pull up beating in that joint. Crazy. Love the 94 Accord.
Had a 94 Cadillac Roadmaster.
Ooh, a Roadmaster. Hey, I'm glad this kind of morphed into this. I appreciate you bringing that up, Nick, about your first wheels and getting your license, man. Congrats on that.
Yeah.
Cookie Monster said his dream car was a what? A 1974 station wagon. Thuggin'.
Here we go. Big shout out to Don Vito. I always got to double check his super chats. My parents blessed me with a used Beamer, but it was the nicest car in my school. I had custom rims, a subwoofer. It single-handedly got me laid.
Hey, yo, you got the wheels in high school, bro. Yeah, that's definitely going to help you out with your first piece of action for sure.
Big shout out to Tuto for the $4.99 super chat. Says I was referring to all missed tackles, soft touches, mistakes, penalties, lack of discipline, and bad coverages.
Paisano, my man. You already know what it is, man. Big love for you over here, Tuto. We appreciate that, man.
66 people in the building. We appreciate everybody.
My brother had the Toyota FX. It was like a FX16. I believe it was a little hatchback. Young, I thought he was the coolest dude on the planet. And then it was this white boy that used to play basketball down in Evans. I forget his name. I think his name was like Brian. He pulled up in like, I don't know if he had red hair. I think he had blonde hair. He was my brother's grade, and he pulled up when the Honda CRX first came out. He pulled up in a white Honda CRX. Yo, we almost lost our mind, bro.
Man, This is a good little throwback session.
Yeah, that was a good convo on the cars right there, man. All right, man. Let's get into this New York Giants. Oh, this is gonna be my segment. Maybe we could get another couple of great YouTube clips out of this one. You know, that the fans seem to the fam seem to love that 8 seconds of silence you gave me after that mug I gave you after you was trying to talk about players deserve the money they deserve.
No, listen. No. You know that morphed into something crazy I wasn't prepared for.
I was talking about value the whole time.
I agree with you. I was never disagreeing with you.
Nah, when I brought up the money part, though, you was kind of like, nah, they deserve it. I was like, oh, pump the brakes there, man. But we're going to get into it, man. The Giants will try to bounce back from Monday's close loss to the Kansas City Chiefs when they welcome the Las Vegas Raiders to MetLife Stadium on Sunday. Playing on Monday Night Football for the first time this season, the Giants lost a close one to the defending AFC champions. The defense forced 2 Chiefs turnovers while holding their offense to 5 of 12 on third down. But a late Harrison Butker field goal, I love that name, Harrison Butker, sealed the 20-17 victory for the Kansas City Chiefs. The Raiders entered this matchup after their bye week in Week 8. Prior to the time off, Las Vegas had won 2 consecutive games, defeating the Broncos by 10 and the Eagles by 11. But don't let that mislead you. That game was kind of a blowout to improve their record to 5-2. The 2 recent wins came with an interim head coach at the helm, which is kind of crazy. So we've been talking about this all day. I kind of wanted to save a little bit of nuggets. You know, we talked about the craziness, the crazy madness that was going on Twitter. For 2 days, I was responding to notifications from all these jokers trying to come for Awthentic's neck. This was crazy. Did I go too far, The Beard?
No. I mean, you listen. I started the show with it. If you're not following Awthentic on Twitter, you got to follow Awthentic on Twitter. I don't think you went too far with it. I mean, you know, you this is what you're best at, Awthentic.
What is that?
You're best at holding on to the tag of the person's shirt as everything else is off of the edge of the cliff. You know? You don't never go too far, but you go just far enough to, you know, show them what you mean. That's, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, I'm not mad at that.
You know, you got to be vague sometimes, man. You know, you got to just throw it out there.
Leave it open for interpretation.
And leave it open for interpretation. So, if you don't follow me on Twitter, make sure you follow me on Twitter at Awthentic. Turn on them notifications, man. It's a blast on Twitter. I'm telling you, man, if you got a work day going on, it's a really easy way to get through your work day. We were talking about quarterbacks and touchdowns this season, 2021. And I mentioned that Jameis Winston and Carson Wentz have double the amount of touchdowns that Daniel Jones has. People didn't like that one. I mentioned that Heineke, Hurts, Jared Goff, Roethlisberger, Trevor Lawrence, Mac
Everybody
Jones,
in the National Football League, right?
all have more touchdowns than your boy, Daniel Jones. I even mentioned that Russell Wilson has more touchdowns than Daniel Jones, and he's played in 3 less games. I know it's Russell Wilson. I know. But the real cream of the crop was Davis Mills. Davis Mills has thrown the same amount of touchdowns as Daniel Jones, and they did not like that one. They was really coming for me, bro. Like, Daniel Jones, our franchise quarterback. What about the offensive line? What about Jason Garrett? What about these coaches? These coaches are coaching them to lose. I even had people saying that Mara is fixing it for us to lose games so that he can wait to draft young Archie Manning. That's his name, right? Is it Archie? What's the young Manning?
Arch
Manning, because Archie is Pops. They said that he's going to mess up 7 years of football to draft one quarterback. I thought it was ridiculous, so I decided, let me put out a poll today on Twitter. I put out a poll on Twitter. I don't think I've ever put out a poll on Twitter. It might be the first poll that they've ever got from Awthentic. And I said, is Daniel Jones playing winning football? So let me ask you all that in the chat. If you think Daniel Jones is playing winning football, give me a W in the chat. If you think Daniel Jones is not playing winning football, give me an L in the chat. The crazy part is we surveyed over 99 people. We got 99 votes. 53.5% said yes, Daniel Jones is playing winning football. And 46.5% said no, Daniel Jones is not playing winning football. Let's get this super chat from Tuto one time. My man, Tuto in the building.
Here we go. What is the difference between Bill Clinton and Philadelphia Eagles players? Clinton can score on every possession.
Tuto in the building one time. Y'all know Tuto hates Eagles fans, man. Maybe that's why we don't get too many Eagles fans in the chat.
I voted in this poll.
What was your vote?
I said yes.
You said yes.
I said yes.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I didn't even know how to react to that. Daniel Jones is playing winning football. Okay, so we got L from Sunday, L from Carl, L from Monique, L from Wild and Plug, L from Lucas, L from Double Easy. We got a W from Tuto. Shout out Tuto one time in the building. L from Richard, L from Michael B, L from Birdman. Double Easy said because we're still used to, we settle for. Shout out Lax.
Shout out to Lax 044 for the $4.99 super chat. Says W. I think he is playing winning football, but the team around him isn't.
You could argue that. Marjorie says W. So we got 2 W's, 3 W's, including that was Lax or Waterfly with that one.
Lax with the.
That was Lax with the super chat, and we got Lax. So we got 3. Michael B says W. Yep. So. Who was it that said it was riding me? I saw my man Stan one time in the chat, and he's the one I wanted to bring up. Shout out to homie Stan Albert one time. He said, I was in the trenches with Awthentik on Twitter, LOL, which is big facts. And let me bring y'all attention to the homie Stan. Stan is Big Blue Stan on Instagram with no E on the blue. Shout out my homie Stan. Send me this nugget right here, and you tell me if this is winning football. Now, right before I get into that, first of all, Daniel Jones, the biggest problem for me started off right in the beginning of that Chiefs game. And Patrick Mahomes gives us that interception in the red zone. Daniel Jones goes right back, gives them the mulligan, and then, they end up scoring, going up on a 7-0. I thought that was a key turn of events in the game. Stan sent this to me on Twitter in my DMs. He said, OG, if you're having a show tonight, here's a nugget. He said, going against the 31st ranked pass defense in the NFL, the Chiefs, which were giving up 390-plus yards of passing per game, the Giants had 240 yards passing. Mind you, 50 came from the John Ross catch. 19 came from the Kadarius Toney throw. And 40 came from the screen pass to Booker. So 109 yards out of 240 yards came from 3 plays, and the QB wasn't even throwing the pass. Think about that, bro. You remove those plays, which I don't like to necessarily do, but just think about that. You had a pass from Kadarius Toney. You had a screen go 40, and you got a big play from Ross. Daniel Jones finished the day with 222 yards. That's what we're going to call winning football. So, I'll rephrase this a little bit for the chat, too. Do y'all think he played winning football on Monday night? Beard, do you think he played winning football on Monday night?
Well, this is the thing, is that Monday night, do I think he played winning football?
The Double Easy said the Beard must have been
burnt when he voted. Listen, you got the loss, right? So it's super difficult to say somebody played winning football if you're the starting quarterback and your team loses, right? Like, theoretically, it doesn't make sense. The way I look at it, and the reason why I voted for yes, he's playing winning football, is because there has been more times than others during this season where I personally have felt as if Daniel Jones is doing things like everything he possibly can to win the game for his team, right? And I'm not trying to give out participation medals and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? But like I just
that's a good point.
It reminds me a lot of Jalen Hurts, where it's like,
Oh, you see, I can't agree with you there now.
They might not.
I like what you said before that, but you said it's kind of like Jalen Hurts.
No. What I'm saying is that you didn't let me finish. What I was going to say is it reminds me of Jalen Hurts, how Jalen Hurts, will do everything to win the game for his team, running the ball, throwing the ball, extending plays, where I get that same feeling from Daniel Jones, where it's like, if you remove Daniel Jones and you put in Mike Glennon for the entire season,
yeah,
you're probably looking at 0 wins, and not even just 0 wins.
I can only go off the facts that, just to pause you real quick, I can only go off the facts when that actually happened in the Rams game. Daniel Jones started off that game 1 for 9, and Mike Glennon actually came in and made some plays. He threw 2 interceptions on the day, but he came in and kind of looked better. I'm not saying he's a better quarterback, but I can only go off the sample size that I saw.
Yeah. To me, it's just like there's an it factor with Daniel Jones that is similar to the it factor that I see in a quarterback like Jalen Hurts, where it's like they're two different types of it factors. Because with Jalen Hurts, it's like, it's kind of more of a, I hate to use this word, like a swag thing, right? When he's on the field.
Dallas game, no Mets. You're right about that.
But with Daniel Jones, like I feel like he puts it all on the field, right? He's not one of these guys who's going to throw an interception, go to the sideline, and put his hand in his head, and then come back out and throw another interception, right? Like I feel like there's these differences that he's made specifically in this season that makes me think that he's playing winning football. It might not necessarily be translating to wins, which sounds ridiculously crazy and stupid, I know. But that was my reasoning behind voting that way. I just feel like he does things on the field that is different, that portrays winning football. That makes any sense? Probably doesn't.
For me, it makes no sense. And the comparison to Jalen Hurts is just so far off. It's ridiculous. Jalen Hurts gets in the red zone and goes, I'm going to get it. And he gets it.
Yeah, he's also a different athlete than Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones isn't the same athlete as Jalen Hurts.
Clearly, he's not.
Yeah.
I mean, that's clear as day, bro. But look at these. Just look at some of these numbers. He hasn't thrown for more than 1 touchdown in but 2 games. What do you mean he's playing winning football? His numbers right now, his yards are less than Jared Goff. His touchdowns are less than Jared Goff.
I'm not looking at the numbers. That's why I tried to explain it.
I'm looking at the game and I'm looking at the numbers. I'm looking
at the way that he's playing. You know what I'm saying? Like, because if the easy answer is if he's not playing winning football because they're 2-6. So of course he's not playing winning football. But what I'm saying is that him individually as a player is literally doing everything he possibly can to carry that team to victory.
That does not mean that you're playing winning football.
Okay, I understand that. That's your opinion.
You think Cole McCoy doesn't come in? Do you think that Cole McCoy doesn't come in and does everything that he can do to win the game?
No, I mean, a professional football player should, yes. But it doesn't always translate. I mean, without Daniel Jones in some of these games, there's nothing. There's no offense at all.
We don't know that.
I mean, he's your leading rusher and your leading passer. To me, it's just
we run the ball like straight up garbage.
I might be answering it in a very hypothetical way and not, technical way. But there's something about me that thinks that if everything was rainbows and sunshine, then things would be completely different outcome-wise.
I'll keep it funky with you right now. If the Giants were sitting at 500 with the way he's been playing, I still wouldn't say he's playing winning football. He's playing average football. That's average football. When your defense gives you that layup that they gave him on Monday night, holding the Chiefs to that low of a score, and you come out in the second half and go 3 and out when they gave you the last possession in the game to try to go down there and score with 1:09 left. I remember I was with Kid Blue and Hub in their stream at the end of the game, and they were questioning the timeout situation with Joe Judge at the end. And I was like, yeah, but they still going to get the ball back with 1 minute left. All they got to do is make this stop. You get the ball back with 1 minute left, and you come out there and you take 2 sacks in 4 plays? That's winning football to y'all?
Okay. But
then he threw a pass for 3 yards. He checked down for 3 yards.
2 sacks on 4. I mean, but you have to think about all the variables that go into that. Offensive line, play call, your receivers getting open, the defense that the Chiefs are playing.
This is why I love Bad Dog so much, bro, because when I went and watched Bad Dog's video that he made after the game, he said, I'm sick and tired of Giants fans making up every excuse under the sun for this quarterback. Dog, why does it got to be so perfect? You know what's crazy about it, too, is I said the same thing about Taylor Heineke 2 weeks ago, and you were, like, in completely disagreement. What's the difference? He has no help, too. Is he playing winning football? Hell no. There's no difference. Look at that. It got you froze for a second, right? Because it's the same exact thing.
I'm just trying to think about how
he's trying his hardest. He's trying his hardest out there. He's giving it all he got. He ain't got no talent around him outside of Terry McLaurin. The dude is not playing winning football.
No, he's not. But he doesn't make Daniel Jones
got
doesn't
better
make
numbers
the
than Daniel
same.
Jones.
Daniel Jones makes way better plays than Taylor Heineke does.
He doesn't
on a
even
game-to-game
average
basis.
a touchdown per game.
I'm not looking at the stats. I'm just telling you about what the play on the field.
The plays are touchdowns.
You didn't ask me if he was putting up game-winning stats. You asked me if he was playing winning football.
Yeah,
in my eyes, he's playing winning football.
To win games.
If we're putting out stats out, if we're just talking about wins and losses, then the answer is obviously no, because
I'm not talking about just wins and losses. That's not what I'm trying to get to.
So, I mean, this is, in my opinion, he is playing winning football, but they're not winning games because it's a team sport, and
I clearly got your opinion now. I got it. I clearly got your opinion. Okay. I'm not here to try to change your opinion, but it is very hypocritical to say that Taylor Heineke's such a bum they need to put in Kyle Allen, but Daniel Jones is playing winning football. Because Daniel Jones, to win games, you have to score touchdowns. I don't give a damn what happens between the 20 and the 20. If you don't score touchdowns, you're not playing winning football. Yeah, there's a bunch of nonsense going around with Daniel Jones, from penalties to injuries to terrible players, but you have to live by the motto of next man up. It's not like Daniel Jones is out here playing with me and you at wide receiver. They're scouting and they're getting the best talent that they have available right now. Somebody said to me, how's he going to do this with Darius Slayton and Colin Johnson? Do you know that his most touchdowns in a game this season came with Colin Johnson out there on the field? So what is the excuse? Because when Sterling Shepard is out there, he's still not putting up touchdowns. You had everybody healthy for 3 weeks. Daniel Jones put up 2 touchdowns in 3 games with everybody healthy. That's not winning football. I'll give you he played a winning game against the Washington football team. I'll give you he played a winning game against the Saints. But if you go through each and every game here, the Broncos, he didn't play winning football against the Broncos. They put up 13 points. You go to the Falcons, he had a drive at the end of the game. I know Nate Solder misses the block. I'm looking for a quarterback who can actually make a play when things break down. I showed you the play with Jalen Hurts where his left tackle don't even get out of his stance. Did he get sacked?
No, not on that play.
He didn't get sacked on that play, right? He actually got a positive gain of 2 or 3 yards on the play. That's what winning football looks like, even when you're around a bunch of losers. Daniel Jones blends in with the losers. He's not the reason why the Giants are losing, but he's not the reason why they're winning. That's why I asked that question so plain as day. Is he playing winning football? That'd be like a quarterback like, bro, Mike White just went out there and played winning football with no Corey Davis. I don't think Jamison Crowder was on the field. He had a bunch of – he was. Okay, so Jamison Crowder's probably his best wide receiver on the field. You like that? Does that sound like?
I mean, he didn't. He literally didn't. He won that game and passed for all those yards without completing the pass over 25 yards. 200 plus
That's
yards.
Fine. Dak Prescott has been doing that for years.
200 plus yards of his 400 yards came after the catch.
Watch this.
His receivers made the plays for him.
What kind of routes does Jason Garrett call? Is he throwing them down the field, or is he running short routes?
No, they're not. You say it all the time. They run the.
So are we bringing up Mike White's statistics of the however many throws you said were under a certain amount of things to make it seem like he's making it easier on them?
No,
yeah, right?
No, not at all. I'm just saying.
I mean, I would say, you want to simplify the game, bad offensive line. You want to run shorter routes because you want to get the ball out of your quarterback's hands quickly. He put up 400 yards, bro. He threw 2 interceptions in the first quarter. And he had 11 straight completions. That's winning football.
Okay. All right.
Is it not? They won the game.
His playmakers made plays for him. That's how he got those stats. He didn't get those stats by going out there and necessarily slinging the rock around and going all crazy Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers on him. His teammates made huge plays for him. He was dumping the ball off the entire game, and they were just taking off. They were 200, more than half of his yards came after the catch.
Would you call that?
That's his teammates making plays for him.
Would you call that high caliber of weapons over there?
No, I mean it's not. But in that game,
so what is the excuse for the other quarterbacks?
Plays. So what is trying to make excuses? I'm just letting you know.
Okay, so what is the reason? What is the reason then that a guy like Daniel Jones is playing winning football when he puts up 222 yards, 50 of them came on a screen? He's putting up like 150 yards.
When you asked me how he did on Monday night, I said no, he didn't play winning football on Monday night.
And this might be a good one right here from No Mets, No Nets, No Jets, is that I think we overrated guys like Shepard. Shepard has been the one consistent thing in this offense since it's been bad for 5 years. And I'm not a hater on Shepard. You was all high on Shepard. He's playing his best football, 100-yard games. The Giants still losing games. Still losing games big. If you go to the Panthers game, Daniel Jones played decent football in that game, right? But he put up 25 points against a bum squad. And I want to say maybe one of those touchdowns came from a defensive turnover that got us really quickly in position. But the Rams, he threw 3 interceptions, bro. The Rams game, he looked god-awful. There's no way we can say that game was winning football. The Broncos, the Falcons, the Cowboys. That's not winning football. That's 4 games right there. So let's say in the other half of the games, he's playing, what did you say, like Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady lights out, which to me, you don't have to play like that to play winning football. Mitchell Trubisky has played winning football almost his whole career. Go look at his record. He's 28-21. They ran him out of town. That's winning football.
Okay. But when you watch Mitchell Trubisky play, did you think he was playing winning football? If you didn't know his winning, if you didn't know his win-loss record, at times, right?
At times, yeah.
I mean, like that's the kind of how I feel about Daniel Jones. At times, I feel like he's playing winning football.
At times, but the question was about this season.
So I mean,
which I'm not like I said, bro.
I know. Shout out to Don
You can
Vito
totally have your own opinion on this, bro. But to me, it's just like, where's the proof? He has not thrown for more than 2 touchdowns all year long. He did that in 2 games, and in one of the games that he did it,
stats.
And in one game. I am.
Okay.
Are stats not important to football?
The difference is that's the difference between what we're looking at the answer to the question.
What does that mean? Like, what does that even mean?
That's what I said in the beginning was that's
Tell
why
me this.
I looked at it.
I see where you're going. I see where you're going. Tell me the play that stands out to you where Daniel Jones played winning football. Since you're just using your eyes and no stats, what do you see that he does that is winning football?
Okay, I'll give you just this Monday night, even though I didn't necessarily think that he did in this game. That pass that he threw it in to take the lead at that point in time to Evan Ingram was a winning football play.
That 5-yard out route.
He takes off, because listen, a lot of times you can butcher that pass, right?
Your boy Mike White.
You can butcher that pass.
Gets no props for throwing all them short passes.
I mean, in the red zone is different than throwing a short. I'm not trying to take away props from Mike White. I'm just saying that all of his yards and plays wasn't
I was wondering why you didn't respond to a lot of them tweets today. I see why.
I'm not. Listen, you know how I feel about Daniel Jones. I'm not trying to disagree with you. There's a part of me that thinks he plays winning football. Maybe I should have thought out my answer before I answered. Because I understand what you're saying.
Which is what most people do when they answer in my polls. They looking for reasons in their mind why Daniel Jones is good. Dog, he's average. He's an average quarterback.
He's average, yes. But average quarterbacks could play winning football.
They can. And
they can play non-winning football. Okay, all right. You might be right. You're probably more right than I am.
The opening of this whole segment was so good because it's like, dog, you got a 50-yard screen. Your wide receiver threw like a 30-yard pass or whatever. It was like a 20-yard pass, whatever it was. And then you got one big play. Outside of that, you threw for 100 yards.
Okay, but was his team not in position to win the game?
They should have been blowing him out.
Okay, but was his team not in position to win the game?
Not because of him.
But they were not because of him.
They totally were not winning that game because of what was happening on the offensive side of the ball.
But because of Daniel Jones?
Yes, those numbers are.
So you think it was Daniel Jones' fault that they didn't win that game?
A portion of it, yeah. Okay. If I had to put a portion of the blame on it, right? It's hard for me to try to rationalize how much I would put on the play calling, right? Because I do think that Jason Garrett was trying to be creative in this game. 30% of it is on Daniel Jones, at least. The defense was.
That's a fair.
The defense was playing their best game of the year. You put up 16 points and 2 touchdowns. I'm sorry, 2 touchdowns and the interception that you give away at the beginning of the game,
which was horrible.
It's not winning football, bro. 3 interceptions against the Rams. That was my God. That's not winning football. Going out there and trying to run over Jabril Cox at the goal line and getting yourself killed is not winning football.
See,
That's that whole fearless thing you was talking about.
That's where
I want Taylor Heineke to be fearless. Then he's sitting his ass on the sidelines.
I look at that as winning football.
Well, in that game, they didn't win. It wasn't even close. We got beat 44-20. I know. Oh, my dog. That's a nugget in its own right there. That's a nugget. See, because for me, bro, I got to keep it completely funky. I've been waiting for this quarterback to mature and become that quarter. Did you see the prediction that I predicted for him this season? 30-plus touchdowns, under 15 interceptions, 4,600 yards. This dude's sitting on 7 touchdowns, bro. And I know things are going wrong around you. Are things not going wrong around Davis Mills? He's got 7 touchdowns. He's a bum. He's a bum. I'm surprised you sold that rookie card for however much you sold it for, because he's a bum.
I mean,
Mike White out here. Mike White has 3 less touchdowns than Daniel Jones. He's played a game in 2 quarters.
It was an anomaly, man.
Maybe
you think Mike White's going to go out there and do that again tonight?
Here's the beautiful thing. I have no idea what Mike White's going to do tonight. But let Mike White put up like 2 or 3 touchdowns, bro. I'm going to be calling for the backup in New York. You think I'm playing? You think I'm playing? I'm not playing. Because, dog, eventually, this is why fans want to see Kyle Allen in Washington, because they're like, maybe it could be better. This is so bad, maybe it could be better. Yeah. We saw the Giants beat the Seahawks with Colt McCoy last year.
I mean, this is the thing. Is that like it's hard. Football is a hard thing to wrap your head around. It's just it is, and I'm not. Everything that you have said. Shout out to Eddie Age for the $2 super chat. Outside of the 2 Super Bowls, was Eli average or elite?
Listen, man, if was a fifth, we'd all be drunk. Eli Manning got them Super Bowls. He's the most clutch quarterback in the history of the NFL, pretty much. So we got to put that in. That's what made him elite. You remove okay. How about if we remove Tom Brady's Super Bowls, is he the GOAT? Of course not. Can't do that. And you thinking about it. If Tom Brady don't got the if Tom Brady don't got the Super Bowls, there is no way in hell you putting him over Peyton Manning. Sorry.
Well, okay, boy, if both of them don't have their Super Bowls.
Well, that wasn't what was proposed, bro.
Okay, well.
What the hell is going on here? You know how you just feel like you in like, what's the name of that show in the 80s,
Twilight
man?
Zone?
The Twilight Zone. This is the Twilight Zone, bro. This is the Twilight Zone. Like, people are acting like Daniel Jones is playing lights out football.
I'm not doing that.
You're acting like he's playing winning football, though.
Okay. But can we agree that he has played winning football at times during this season? It hasn't all been a loss.
2 games. I'll give you 2 games. 2 games.
So
I have to go back and look at the Panthers game again.
Do you have to win to play winning football?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Of course not. Why would I ask the question sitting at 2-6 if it was that obvious?
I just wanted to double check, man. I just wanted to double check.
I'm telling you, I'm in the Twilight Zone over here, y'all. I promise you. And this is what I said, Don Vito. I said this on Twitter today. He's not the problem, but he's not the solution. That means he's just here. He's just here. He's not stepping up and making those. Every time they give Daniel Jones a chance to get a winning drive, he don't get it.
I can't argue with you there. I mean, it's just, I don't know.
And I agree with Marjorie, too. It's never one player.
For the $4.99 super chat. Salute Awthentik for his angry, fired-up rants like true Italian. We could use him at right price anytime to fire up our team all day. Appreciate it, Tudo.
Tudo, we definitely appreciate you, which makes me think about this. Maybe the organization, the coaches, quarterback coaches, offensive coordinator, they need to challenge that kid more. He's our guy. He's our guy. Dave Gettleman, he's our guy. You guys may not see it. We see it every day in practice. He's our guy. He's our guy. He's a franchise quarterback.
I like that.
Come on, man.
I think that might be a good idea. Because you know how they say sometimes that it's important for somebody to be pushed. Like a competition brings out the best in somebody. Maybe that's not a bad.
And his whole tenure, he hasn't been pushed. They gave him the keys to the Ferrari 2 weeks into what was that, the 2019 season, as a rookie. He's been here now for 2.5 seasons, bro. People are waiting.
And also, I will say maybe it is a little bit easier for me to have that sort of judgment about him being on an outside perspective. You know what I'm saying?
That's what's crazy, actually. To me, that's what's crazy about your opinion on it. Everybody around the country that roots for another team thinks Daniel Jones is garbage. I won't sit here and say Daniel Jones is garbage. He's average. He's not even. People have been trying to put him in that Ryan Tannehill bracket. He's not even in that bracket yet. I'm not going to give him that. No. Even when Ryan Tannehill was in Miami. I'm not giving him that, bro. He's not there yet. Daniel Jones most of his wins come against y'all. Maybe that's why you biased about it, because most of the time he's beating the team, he's beating y'all ass.
I've seen the best of Daniel Jones in person up close.
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
I don't know. Maybe it's just I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt maybe too much. Maybe that has a lot to do with it too. I feel like I see potential in him as a football player.
So do I.
And I feel like I've seen growth to a certain extent from last year to this year.
So have I.
Maybe I'm just being too easy on him in saying that he's playing winning football. And maybe I should have said he's played winning football at times this season.
Listen, man,
overall,
I don't want to skew your opinion.
No,
I don't want to skew your opinion. You could keep your opinion.
You're not.
But all I
think
is that when you say a guy like Taylor Heineke is horrible, not playing winning football, and then you can look at Daniel Jones and say, yeah, he's playing winning football. The scale's tipping strangely to me.
For me, that's because I see more potential in Daniel Jones than I do Taylor Heineke.
Ooh, look at this. What you think about this? Shout out my homie Zach one time in the building too. That's my dude.
I told you that I've had a lot of people asking me about that comparison. Not even just like on the field, but the situation between the fan base and the quarterback.
Stan, you my dude. Oh my God. What do you think about that?
I can see the comparison. I see similarities. I think at this stage in their careers, if you were to look at Kirk Cousins to the point at where Daniel Jones is in his career, Kirk Cousins was further along than Daniel Jones is at this. If you put their comparison in their years.
That's why I wouldn't even compare this, because I think Kirk Cousins is a better quarterback than Daniel Jones. And Stan says, bro, we can't be easy on a number 6 overall pick. We can't.
Facts.
And this one is probably spot on right here. Talking about removing Super Bowls from people, take away the Super Bowls from Flacco. This exact same quarterback that Daniel Jones is.
Don't worry, Big Deezy. You guys have
just
Kyle
like
Trask.
That. Is that Big Deezy says Kirk Cousins is way better.
Well, I mean, way better now, or are we talking because I mean, like, yeah, he's way better at this moment in time. But I was looking at it more so of up to this point in their careers.
Yeah, I agree with you on this one too, Kyle Key. So who's winning this game?
Waterfly, $2 for the super chat.
You want to make a pick for Waterfly real quick?
$9.99. Am I gonna pick the Raiders and Giants game now?
Sure. For me, it don't matter, because I'm like, a win on Sunday, I don't care. I don't care anymore. I'm done with this squad, bro. The coach needs to get fired. OC needs to get fired at the end of the year if they fire the head coach midway. Dave Gettleman got to go. How hard is it to make a first-round pick? I mean, we did mock drafts a couple of times in the offseason with people. It's not that hard to pick a first-rounder. Hey, let me pick the cream of the crop and pick one of the first 32 guys drafted. That's not that difficult. The middle rounds is where it gets difficult.
I'd have to disagree with you there. I think that drafting first-round draft picks is probably one of the most hardest things that you could possibly do.
Who made a bad first-round draft pick this year?
I mean, you can't. You won't be able to determine that before the first season after this draft is already over.
I'm just asking right now. I mean, all these players look good to me. It's hard to even tell who the best wide receiver outside of Jamar Chase is in this class. Devontae Smith came right in doing his thing. Rondale Moore came right in doing his thing. Bateman got back off being, injured. He's doing his thing. Kadarius Toney looks like a first-round draft pick. Kyle Pitts looks like a first-round draft pick. Zach Wilson. Mac Jones looks fantastic. Mac Jones looked better than Daniel Jones. and his offensive line probably just as bad. They want to say he got a good offensive line because he's getting the ball out quick, but that's on Mac Jones. I told you that when I scouted his tape. I said, yo, this kid is slow. He really don't got the physical skill set, but he know how to get rid of that ball. Every time he threw a touchdown, he was taking a hit. And I mean, just to ask a simple question like that, that's not out of the realm, bro. It's like we've had a half a season to gauge where these guys are at, and they look a lot of them look good.
Yeah, they might look good right now, but they might
fall off.
That might be it. They might never have a good
people won't look
again.
at it and be like, oh my God, you made like how people try to do now with Saquon Barkley. Like, it was the wrong pick. Did you see the Giants stadium when they made the pick? They had the whole stadium filmed with everybody in there. People was losing their minds that we picked Saquon Barkley. You know, I don't think
you'll never be able to change my opinion on that pick. I think that was the pick. There's no other pick at that point.
To me, that was the pick. Steve says they're talking trash about Sewell in Detroit. That could be one.
Yeah,
you know, and
weren't people saying things like that about Andrew Thomas at first?
After the preseason game against the Patriots, people were calling him a bust. Within the fan base and outside the fan base. But my thing is, when I say it's not that hard to make the first round pick, there's like so much hype around all the first round guys that you kind of know everybody draft board looks pretty similar.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that you can't miss on a first rounder pick, but to look at Dave Gettleman and go, oh man, he hit on Kadarius Toney, Andrew Thomas, Saquon Barkley. He kind of missed on Daniel Jones, if you ask me, because Daniel Jones is not playing like a number 6 pick.
And I feel like that draft in general was like that, and I think both of our organizations were in such a similar situation at that stage, and we probably, you know, like there wasn't, and that's what worries me about this upcoming draft is that not just because you're a quarterbacks that coming out of the draft doesn't mean that you have to draft a quarter. Like, when was the last time there won a first round without a quarterback? You know what I'm saying?
Has that ever happened? I don't know if that's ever happened.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like maybe we drafted quarterbacks in that draft that just didn't need to be drafted in the first round, but we did it because we needed quarterbacks and they were the best of the quarterbacks available at that time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's a
Which
thin line,
that kind of leans to the point I'm saying. It's like, being that's not that hard to make the pick because you don't got to dig through the tape and go find these guys that are like not expected to be first rounders.
I mean, Russell Wilson,
Kirk
Cousins.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean,
there's a slew of guys who get drafted late that are amazing, but that's not what I'm saying. I'm just talking about, like, for the people that find those guys, the Dak Prescotts and those people late rounds, they're amazing. Yeah. To find Kittle past the 4th round, Kelsey, Darren Waller. When are the Giants going to do that? Because right now our late round picks look awful, bro. But I won't harp on the point too much because I know we got to get to that last game. We don't got to spend too much time on the Colts game. Monique said the Colts just got in the end zone. That's awesome. But that's just how I'm seeing it, bro. Like, Daniel Jones right now is just okay. He's just okay, and he's borderline, like, almost falling underneath that below average kind of vibe for me. Yeah, I agree. You could put a lot of pieces around him. Anybody who's been following me on this channel knows that I was a huge Daniel Jones supporter. I still am. I want to see him do good. But at the end of the day, the organization failed him by putting the weapons around him, waiting too long to do it. You finally wait till his 3rd year to finally bring in some wide receiver talent, some real pass catchers. And then when they go down, people are like, oh my God, they're so surprised. But for me, this is the main thing. You can say all you want about it. I'm not looking at the stats. Looking at the stats, bro, this guy doesn't throw touchdowns. In 2 out of his 3 seasons, he's not throwing touchdowns. He had 12. I don't even know a quarterback that started in more than 12 games that only threw 1 touchdown a game. I'm going to go do some more digging on that because I already see my Twitter notifications is at about 50 right now. Because people are still trying to answer that question. Like, dog, all I'm asking you is, why does Davis Mills have the same amount of touchdowns that Daniel Jones has? And then when I ask people, they go, oh, it's all Jason Garrett's fault, okay? And if you truly believe that, then I asked this question and nobody answered this one. Who's the second worst OC in the league then? People don't even know. People can't even name OCs in the league. They're just like, Jason Garrett's our OC. He's the worst. Like, dog, y'all, it's casual. That's casual stuff, bro. That's casual stuff.
Big shout out to Lax044 for the $4.99 super chat. Says quarterbacks are drafted higher now because teams want the fifth-year option. Because of that, a lot of guys will go in the first when they shouldn't. That's a great point. Great point.
Yeah, that makes sense. It definitely makes sense. And we've seen a lot of quarterbacks get missed on recently. You talked about the 2019 draft. That's the joint with Kyler Murray in it, right?
Dwayne Haskins, Kyler Murray,
Drew Lock.
Jones, Drew Lock.
Bunch of garbage in that draft.
Yeah.
And I also think that happens because people try to overvalue the quarterback position. Build from the trenches. The Dallas Cowboys can have their starting quarterback who's a top 5 quarterback in the NFL, top 10 on everyone's list. I don't care who you are. He's top 10 on everyone's list. They can have him go out and still win games.
You know what's interesting, though, is that, I'm always 90% of the time agree with what you're saying right there, right? And we've shared that philosophy a lot about building from the inside out, basically the trenches. Okay, right now in Washington, there's a lot of people that are upset that that's the route that we've gone because now we feel like we're so far behind at the quarterback position that even though we spent all this free agents and draft capital on building in the trenches, that it hasn't panned out at all because in today's football, you have to have a quarterback. That's how a lot of people here.
But it seems like Ron Rivera also, he can't assess the quarterback position well. I hate to say it. 2 years in a row, he kind of botched that. And maybe that has, organizational pressure as well from Dan Snyder trying to force Dwayne Haskins on him, because I did think that was alarming when he brought over, Kyle Allen. Why are you bringing the quarterback from your old squad, Yeah. That's very alarming.
I'll never forget that day, that night.
But how many first rounders have y'all drafted on the offensive line?
First rounders on the offensive line since when?
During this whole rebuild of when you got all those first rounders on the defensive line.
We've been drafting all defense in the first round.
So that's not really necessarily building from the trenches then. Y'all halfway committed to it defensively. Y'all spent 5 first rounders actually on your line when you had Kerrigan over there.
Yeah, but we've also had made a lot of moves offensive line wise also, especially because people who have been playing at a young age. And then we had guys who had been on our line that were kind of like already like like cornerstones that things went wrong. Trent Williams, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. It's just
that really hurt y'all. That really hurt y'all.
That was one of the worst things, man, for sure.
I like what Double Easy got going on right here. The great O-line can make an average quarterback look great. A crappy O-line makes any QB look like garbage, unless that quarterback is very decisive. Because the quarterbacks who can get the ball out of their hands quick, that's the best friend of a lineman. And that's why I thought Nate Solder looked a lot better when Eli Manning was the quarterback, because he ain't have to be out on the island the whole time right there. You got Daniel Jones back there doing craziness because he's trying to scramble, run around. Nate Solder can't block. Nate Solder's not agile. And I do see no Mets, no Nets, no Jets was saying, wasn't that Jay Gruden? It was. Jay Gruden drafted him. But then when Ron Rivera got the job, he had a choice to who he was going to start at quarterback. He brought in Kyle Allen that first year, but it seemed like they might have had pressure to start Dwayne Haskins because Dwayne Haskins was the starter. And then 3-4 weeks through the season, Ron Rivera came out and said, Dwayne Haskins is not even prepared for the games.
Yeah, and Gruden did not want Haskins. Nobody in Washington wanted Haskins except for Daniel Snyder. Daniel Snyder made that pick, and nobody in the building wanted Dwayne Haskins. Do you want to talk about picks as setback? That was a setback pick.
Yeah,
at the time,
sure.
As a fan, you're excited.
Oh, and the Alex Smith thing really, really derailed y'all, because Alex Smith, if the leg thing didn't happen, he could still be a game manager style type quarterback. And he got y'all to 5 wins that year.
It would have all made sense. You had Alex Smith while you were grooming Dwayne Haskins, and you had the defensive players drafted. The O-line was good. You had Trent Williams. It just kind of all came crashing down.
Yeah, that definitely unraveled strange. But, I do think that the Giants have tried to build from the trenches a little bit, but they have failed as well, too. The injuries have definitely hurt them. But going into this season and not addressing the offensive line, that shows you the lack of investment in that in building in the trenches. And to me, that's the number one reason why we got to get rid of Dave Gettleman.
It's going to be an interesting offseason. That's for certain.
Man, that defense, we limited Travis Kelce to 27 yards. He fumbled. He only had 4 catches, bro. 60 completion percentage for Patrick Mahomes, 275 yards. He only had 1 touchdown. We had 1 interception on him. His passer rating was 74.6 on the day, the 3rd lowest of the season for him. He threw fewer than 2 touchdown passes for just the 2nd time all year, and we don't come out with a win when they score 20 points. Ain't no way in hell nobody gonna tell me Daniel Jones playing winning football. Ain't no way. And the Giants fan base, I know they're split on this. I know they are. But a lot of people, when you're a fan, you want to see your quarterback do good. Some people are like that. They're going to just die on it. And when I was younger, I used to be like that. But I watched Eli Manning struggle for a little bit. He got it together very quickly. And we were in the Super Bowl in a couple years. Daniel Jones, I think he's running out of time, man. And now it's like sitting at 2-6. You better win the rest of the games if you're trying to convince Awthentik. I'll keep it funky.
Big shout out to Simon for the $5 super chat. Been having some really bad luck with running backs this fantasy season. Would you play Derek Gore, Chuba, Mark Ingram, or D'Ernest Johnson? I mean, that's about as bad of luck as you can get.
D'Ernest can't do that.
Derek Gore, I mean, that was I didn't even know who that guy was. And he played. Christian McCaffrey's coming back, but I'd imagine for me it'd be between Chuba and Mark Ingram, because I'm assuming they'll probably put McCaffrey on some sort of snap count, and Mark Ingram, they're probably going to be running the ball a lot more now since Jameis Winston is down. The only thing that worries me is if Taysom Hill is playing quarterback for the Saints, he tends to take away carries.
A lot of carries, yeah.
Backs.
And I don't like Mark Ingram just because he just got there. You got to get your feet wet, get accustomed to it. I know he's already been a player with the Saints. I think you got to go Chuba. The rest of those guys probably ain't going to get PT. I'd probably go Chuba or D'Ernest Johnson because Kareem Hunt's not back yet, right?
Nope.
Yeah, so one of those two. It's still tough, man. The running back situation in fantasy right now has been awful.
Big shout out to Tuto for $4.99 super chat. Says $200 million worth team with a bad record is a waste of my valuable time and money. Paisano, forget about it.
Big facts, too, though. People are saying, man, the Giants fan base needs to just boycott. Stop buying merch. Stop going to the games because the product they put on the field is awful. And Joe Judge, man, I ain't even get to talk about.
Familiar.
The NFL did come out and say that the headset situation is true. They're having trouble across the board with almost all the NFL teams right now with the headset, with the Bose set up. They try not to drop the name too much because they don't want to mess up their sponsorships. But supposedly they've been trying to cover that up for a long time. I see the Jets just scored, so I don't know if that ties up the game 7-7. How did they score? Was it a touchdown pass from Mike White or whatever? Because that'll be one closer to Daniel Jones. Mike White playing winning football. All right, man. Let's quickly go to this next game real quick, man. We already got a 7-7 score.
Pass.
It was a touchdown pass. So there you go. Okay, my man out here doing things already with scraps, big time scraps right now. Leftovers, still making plays. A deep touchdown pass at that. Shout out to homie Jason Ramsey one time in the building, man. We appreciate
it. Couldn't have been
you.
a deep touchdown pass because they were in the red zone, from the 20-yard line.
You know what they call deep passes in the NFL, though, what the yard mark is, right?
No, I don't.
It's 20.
Are you serious?
Yes. Everything over.
I thought it was a 20-yard pass a deep pass?
I'd say like 30 for me, probably. 30, 35 is probably for me. But when I was looking up stats, I saw that they consider that to be deep throwing down the field, 20 yards. I was like, that is kind of interesting.
Crazy, right?
Yeah, and it's not supporting your theory about your boy Mike White either. So I understand why you brought that one up. Mike White playing winning football, man. I'm not even going to do the intro for this game, man. Let's just kind of talk about it real quick. We already mentioned Mike White a little bit. The Jets offense put up 511 total yards, and you talking about my man is out here not doing damage. Pretty crazy. He was 37 of 45, very efficient on the day. Only 8 passes hit the ground. Last week, 405 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions real quick. Talked about this. He went 11 of 11 before throwing his first interception. It was damn near a pick 6, and they got down to the 1-yard line. The Bengals got down to the 1-yard line, and the Jets defense came up big in that with a 4-down stop, turnover on downs. I love seeing a defense help your quarterback out. Y'all know 2 weeks ago the word of the day was help, and my boy Mike White is getting some help from that Jets defense. He also had some help from the running game, and he had some help from his running backs in the passing game, which was amazing. He had Michael Carter getting 9 receptions for 95 yards. He had 15 carries for 77 yards. That's the kind of game I've been trying to get out of Michael Carter on our fantasy team. He's been struggling for most of the year, but looking like kind of getting it together here. And shout out to Ty Johnson, my homie Juice Jones, who blessed me with the Velvet Lounge merchandise that I was wearing a couple weeks back. Ty Johnson is his homie. They're working on a bunch of programs for mental awareness, so I wanted to send a big shout out to the homie Juice Jones. I wish I had his Twitter handy on me, but definitely look for Juice Jones. He does a lot of stuff for the mental health community. And Ty Johnson added 5 receptions for 71 yards. So, damn near 150 yards right there of passing yards from Mike White came from the running backs, which is amazing. The reason why I got to pick the Colts in this game, even though I hope Mike White does have a good game, is Michael Pittman last week. You talked about him in the intro of the show. 10 catches, 86 yards. Finally had a double-digit touchdown game. He had 2 touchdowns on the day. Carson Wentz, fighting last week against the Titans. He was 27 of 51. That's a lot of throws when you got a guy like Jonathan Taylor in the backfield. Crazy he put up 51 throws. 231. 200. See, now that's not winning football either. 231 yards on 51 throws. You should have lost the game.
Two interceptions.
2 interceptions.
Not to mention that just ridiculous play from his own end zone. I've never seen anything that might have hands down been one of the worst plays I've seen in the NFL.
Yeah, Carson Wentz. He does have more touchdown passes than Daniel Jones, twice the amount already.
You know what's crazy? I couldn't believe it. So he threw 2 interceptions in this last game, and including those 2 interceptions, he has a total of only 3 interceptions this entire year, which I feel like he should have way more because of some of the decision making that he does. But he's actually had a pretty decent season considering everything.
He is having a good year, man. 14 touchdowns on the year. That's solid for a guy that they ran out of Philadelphia. But I do think that they made the right decision because I like what Jalen Hurts is doing. Mm-hmm. The Colts had 2 turnovers last week, too. They had the 1 fumble, the 2 interceptions. And if they can play clean tonight, I think they'll win the game. But that's really what it's about, I think, is if they can really play clean football. Carson Wentz, this is the other thing that made me very angry with his play last week. 27 completions for 231 yards, right? That's absolute trash. But he was only sacked 1 time on the day. So, what are you doing on the rest of those plays? What are you doing on the other, what is that, 24 more passes? What are you doing?
Not making completions, not finding guys.
Not playing winning football.
Not playing winning football.
But I got to take the Colts in this game.
Big shout out to Tuto for the $4.99 super chat. Says, all New York Giant problems starts from Mara, who hired Big Fat Getty, who hired a moron number 2, Shermer, then hired moron number 3, JJ, who's been a mega bust for the last 2 seasons.
Nothing but facts. Nothing but facts. Double easy. I got to highlight this one, too. Galladay said the offense would be off to a slow start. I thought he meant sometime in 2021. So did I. So did I, brother. Wow. I mean, it's been ugly. And Galladay's getting a lot of flack these days. But if he could stay healthy, he'd be all right. I mean, he's another weapon for sure that the Giants could use. But, man, my thing is, just make some plays, man. Scheme it up. As much as the 7 touchdowns is on Daniel Jones, it's on Jason Garrett as well, too. Find a way to score when you're in that red zone. Find a way to not commit penalties in the red zone. Find a way to not get your quarterback sacked in a game where it's the game-winning drive and you got 1:09 left. There's no way your quarterback should take 2 sacks. He took a sack on first down. Bro, you should know now when it's 4th and a mile, you cannot take – bro, drop back and just throw that thing up. I don't care what you do. Get it out of your hands as quickly as you can, but don't take a sack, bro. Even if you do the Taylor Heineke and throw it into the front row of the stands in the end zone. I don't care. Just don't take a sack, bro. That's losing football. That's loser mentality football. Like when I'm playing Madden and I allow myself to take a sack late in the game when I'm trying to drive down and get a game-winning score, I feel like an idiot. And Daniel Jones should feel like an idiot. He really should. I don't care what's going on with the headsets. I don't care what's going on with your coaches. I don't care what's going on with the injuries. Find a way, man. Find a way. 7 touchdowns. I'd like to look at how many touchdowns he had after week 8 last season. It was probably like 4. That's pitiful, man. It's not winning football. 5 interceptions, 7 touchdowns. It's not winning football. It's bad. It's bad football. It's losing football. Daniel Jones, we got to get it together, man. So I know y'all want to see this Thursday night football game. So do I. I'm trying to see my man Mike White play some winning football. You know, I'm rooting for the kid. I love to see an underdog story. That's why I was rooting for Daniel Jones for a long time. 6th pick out of Duke. You know, what the hell were we doing drafting a quarterback out of Duke anyway? But I'll keep it funky. I'm still on his side. I want to see him play well. I want to see him win games. But it's not going to make me feel good if the Giants go out there and beat the Raiders on Sunday. I didn't even pick a score for that game. Was it Waterfly that was trying to rush us into picking the score? I didn't even pick a score. I don't care, man. Whatever. Giants lose that game. You know, Derek Carr's my man. I've been saying if Daniel Jones could play like Derek Carr, maybe the Giants have a good shot this year. He ain't playing like Derek Carr. Derek Carr playing winning football. John Gruden out there getting fired doing sleazeball antics through his email. Derek Carr don't even care. You got Henry Ruggs out here crashing vehicles, killing humans and dogs. Derek Carr's still out here doing what he got to do to win games. Did you ever find out who's the second worst OC in the NFL? Look, you know what the number one answer was from that? Pat Shurmur. They can't think of another offensive coordinator around the league.
I almost jumped in and said Scott Turner.
Yeah, you got to pick the guy from your team. I mean, that's what most people going to do. Oh, it's not y'all guy, it's our guy. Man, just keep it funky with your boy, man. Y'all don't know who the second worst. One dude said Jason Garrett takes both positions for 32 and 31. He's that bad. I like that answer. I thought that was pretty good. But, man, we're not going to hold y'all much longer here, man. We appreciate everybody who stayed tuned into this show. I know we went a little bit into the game, a good 30 minutes. It was a hype vibe. I kind of forgot we had football. I'm going to keep it funky with y'all. I thought, there wasn't a game tonight. I was like, we're going to keep this one going. But definitely appreciate all the moderators in the building, the new mods, the old mods, the day ones, the day twos, man. We got a lot of love for y'all one time in the building. We're going to be back at it Sunday. And if y'all were looking for the show with Ramblin' Rio on Wednesday, he had to cancel it because of a family emergency. So we're going to be doing that one next week. We'll definitely keep y'all in tune with that. Make sure to tune in Sunday morning for the parlay. Maybe I'll have a score for the Giants. Maybe if I care enough. But right now we're playing. Oh, Mike White is hurt. Stop playing with me, dog. Stop playing with me. I hope Mike White could get back up and do his thing, man. I know, right?
Maybe he's the next Tom Brady, man.
Let's not jump the gun, man. Let's not jump the gun, man.
That's how some people are talking.
Is that what people are saying?
Of course they are, man.
Hey, man, it makes for a good story, man. We need a new Tom Brady.
And you know I love a good story. I'm a storyteller, man. So you
told a bunch of stories about Daniel Jones today. You told a bunch of stories about Daniel Jones today, a bunch of fiction.
Man, look, I'm cheering for the guy, man. I think he's got potential.
Hey, you know what? I proposed an option on Twitter that was like, why don't we just combine Washington football team with the New York Giants and we just make it the football team, right? That'd be really cool. And then, week to week, we'll just like swap players. Like 1 week, we'll borrow Taylor Heineke for a week and just see how he looks in the New York Giants system. Y'all can take Daniel Jones, see what he does with y'all. We'll borrow J.D. McKissick for a little bit. You guys take Booker. Maybe we can make some trades here. And then next year we'll go into it. Y'all can have a new name. Maybe it'll be the Red Tails. And we'll get back to being the New York Football Giants and the Washington, whatever y'all going to be.
That'll be fun. That would be fun, man.
That would be really fun, man. I would love to borrow y'all front four. Maybe a couple pieces.
All right. Yeah.
Let me get Montez Sweat healthy. I'll take Chase Young. Then I'll take Leo.
We could use some of your linebackers.
Take Dexter Lawrence. Oh, our linebackers ain't that good, though.
Well, that's how bad ours are.
Big facts on that, man. Y'all know what it is, man. It's been real good. If y'all gonna stay tuned in for just a little longer, let me get some biceps in the chat. We got a lot of big love for you two Double Easy. We appreciate you being in the building. The Cardinal Rule's still in the building. Marjorie's still in the building. Hand or wrist injury. Such a New York thing, Marjorie says. I'm hoping my man can get back in the game, man. I'm trying to get his numbers a little closer to Daniel Jones to make my points make a little bit more sense for some of these fanboys out there, man. We appreciate y'all, man. Y'all know what it is. We're going to catch y'all Sunday, man. Everybody be good. You know what it is. Live those dreams, man. We're going to holler at y'all. Peace.
Peace.